Back in the winter, one Friday, I had Mass at one of our parish grade schools, and I asked the grade school kids some questions, always a dangerous thing to do. I asked them if they could ask for anything in the world, what would it be? Hannah Montana tickets was the big request. TV video games was a second, an iPad was the third. There were a variety of things. Health, peace on earth were not among the list. I suppose we've all thought of that at some time or another. Solomon was faced with the question from God, "Ask something of me and I will give it to you." Solomon, the young king and son of David, is about to take the throne. We know him by his reputation for wisdom. That person had the wisdom of Solomon. That's high praise. Solomon could ask for anything at all, and he asked for an understanding heart to judge the people and to distinguish right from wrong. Remember, he was king. He had all the wealth, all the property, all the material things that he needed. He asked for wisdom. Biblical wisdom is about everyday life. It concerns practical matters and guides us in living a life in God. We know of people who are street smart, wise in the ways of the world, or they're a smart aleck. But the wisdom that Solomon asked for was more a wisdom of understanding, a wisdom that comes with patient listening, discerning gifts, reserving judgment. The wisdom that Solomon asked for, the wisdom that you and I might want for ourselves, for our children, for our grandchildren, for those we care about, is probably best seen, most beautifully lived out in the person of Jesus Christ. At the very heart of the book of Kings is not so much a warning, be careful of what you ask for, but with every ask comes responsibility. We need to take responsibility for what it is that we are asking of our God. Not simply in terms of the asking, but in light of our asking, it seems to me that we need to do three things. In the words of the psalmist, to keep our prayer ever before you, O God. Solomon needed to keep before himself that he had asked God for an understanding heart. When we diverge from the focus of his request, he lost sight of how he was to govern. Number two, we need to act in accord with what it is that we are asking. It's not just going to fall upon us like manna from the heavens. If you want something, there's something that you're going to have to do in order to get it. And finally, we need to remain open to the movement of God's Spirit working in us and take time to be grateful for the way God is indeed working through us. What is it that we ask of God? I'm sure I'm not the only one who's ever prayed to win the lotto, make it home before the snow starts to fly, or not get caught with 3.5 ounces of shampoo in that clear plastic Ziploc sandwich baggie as you walk through the airport security. As important as such prayers might seem at the moment, when we're honest with ourselves, they seem quite small when you look at the grand scheme of things. But at the same time, what is important to one person may be different to another person. It takes real insight to realize what we should value in life. This is so very difficult when we live in a society that bombards us daily with values that are only temporary, that are quick fixes. This week, perhaps the prayer of Solomon could be our prayer. Give me an understanding heart, O God.